Gotcha.
Hey, how's it going everybody? It's Thegameconomist, and I'm already putting out my first guide for Dark Souls Remastered. Today we're going to be talking about how to become powerful in about 15 minutes. Really what this is it's a guide for getting the Drake Sword. The Drake Sword is a really strong weapon that you can get really early in the game. It's a very easy to use weapon as well. And, I didn't want it to be a guide that left anyone wondering what the heck they're supposed to be doing. So we're starting from the very beginning of the game. You can see I chose the Bandit class. I've been told the Bandit class is a good starting class, so I just went with it. And I'm just going to go from the very beginning all the way to the Drake Sword. So you're going to see everything. So basically, here we are in the beginning of Dark Souls 1. I did play the original Dark Souls campaign, I just didn't actually play PvP, so some of this is very familiar to me and not that difficult at all, really. It's funny because I got into Dark Souls because I was told how difficult it was, and I always, when I started I thought it was difficult, but it was never like mind-breakingly difficult. I always thought it was more about a game that it really punished you for not thinking about what you're doing next. But I love thinking about what I'm doing next. So for me, it was very entertaining and gratifying, and not so much difficult. Not so much difficult. The PvP is difficult. Figuring out some of the more advanced, more of the advanced mechanics. Perhaps we could say that's difficult, right? Like, especially for Dark Souls 3, I remember learning all kinds of tiny little details that sometimes people had to run a lot of tests in order to figure out. And even after they ran the tests, you still have so much to learn. And that was what made Dark Souls difficult. But in terms of just like hitting the roll button, as long as you're not being too conservative with your Estus, and as long as you're rolling and guarding sometimes, it's like, how do you lose? You know what I mean? Okay, so here we are. We've gotten to the point where I'm going to go ahead and kill this knight, the elite knight. Sorry, buddy. Give me your stuff. And I'm just going to open up the gate. There we go. I'm just going to open up the gate down there for later, because I know I'm going to want to do that later. Oops. There we go. And now I basically just need to kill the fatty demon and get out of here. Bad parry. I hoped I could parry that guy. I did a lot of parrying in Dark Souls 3, and I felt like by the end of it, I was actually pretty good at parrying. And now I don't know anything about parrying is how it feels. Because when I played Dark Souls 1 for the first time, I didn't even know parrying was a thing. That's how newbie I was. I didn't know you could actually parry. And so I played the whole game, no parrying. Then Dark Souls 3, I was still very much a parry noob, and I practiced and practiced. And at some point I thought I was pretty good at parrying at some point. And now here we are in Dark Souls 1, and I'm ready to parry again, but I don't know how the timing is anymore. There's always that tiny little window where you get to parry. Oh, that's pretty good. Look at that drop attack damage. He's already half dead. So, but yeah, I don't really know the rules for parrying anymore. Like, the rules for parrying could be really specific in Dark Souls 3. There were parry frames for weapons that were spammy, right? And then the parry frames would be different for certain moves, and certain shields or not shields, but like claws, fist, they had better active frames for getting a parry in, all kinds of little stuff, right? There was the setup parry, I don't know if that's in the game. So there's all kinds of little details that I'm going to have to relearn. I imagine somebody out there knows all this stuff, and I'm gonna have to figure out who they are so I can start reading and learning from them as well, and I'll be experimenting on my own time. Here's the crow. I don't really care about the crow cutscene. I'm not a cutscenes guy. I don't know if I ever told you guys this, but one of the things I love about Dark Souls is that they don't have much of a story, and I am not a story kind of guy. I don't play video games for the story almost ever. I like Mario. Mario has almost no story. Princess Peach was kidnapped by Bowser, and then we're sexist Mario who has to save a princess. Really simple, right? I'm that kind of person where I don't want a story. I just want to play the game. I like the mechanics of a game. When a game has too much story, it's like, I don't know. I don't like it. When I played Mass Effect for the first time, I just skipped any cutscene and any dialogue I could. I just cut it all. I didn't want any of it. You know what I mean? And it's the same here, and that's one of the things I liked about Dark Souls. Dark Souls, they didn't have a story, even though there's clearly a lot of lore in the game. They never really had a story, and if I remember an old interview, they're saying that's just because it wasn't their strong point. I think somebody was talking about that. I can't remember. But it actually works out for someone like me who doesn't care about the story. I will skip every cutscene that I can when I'm playing a video game, because I just want to get back to playing the game, honestly. Man, it's It's been such a long time since I've done all this. I don't remember any of the items out here. Alright, there's the rat. Oh god. Okay. 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 Jesus Christ. Man, the wall bounce on the weapons is terrible. I forgot about that. Look at that, so I can get a little soul there. All that. Now I'm poisoned. I'm gonna skip all the items so I can get to the bonfire then. See if I can remember some of this. I do remember this area pretty well. Back when I started playing Dark Souls 1, I truly wasn't. I mean, it was my first Dark Souls experience, and I spent a lot of time lost in this area right in the beginning. I had no idea what I was doing. I even thought like I was supposed to farm these little hollows, right? I thought I was supposed to farm them. So I'm actually pretty familiar with this part of the game. It's usually about the time you get to the end of the game that I start getting confused. And then of course, for me, I didn't play the DLC at all, so that's 100% new to me. So I'm really looking forward to that. Alright, so here we are at the bonfire, right? And we are just about, maybe close to halfway done. We gotta go kill the Taurus Demon. He's not difficult. I remember in Dark Souls 3, there's a point where, like, you have everything... Oh, God, I thought the door would just be open. There's a point in Dark Souls 3 where... Oops, come on. You have everything kind of memorized, and you don't really fight any of the monsters, and it actually makes the game really easy. Isn't that funny? If you don't fight the monsters at all... Okay. Okay. I guess those guys can reach you even if you're running. Yeah, you've got everything memorized, and you don't fight. And that's what makes it easy, is actually not fighting. Give me a second. There's a barrel up here. Come on. And there we go. And there we go. I know Havel is beneath me, but I'm not going to fight him. But yeah, there's a point where you have everything memorized, and you just kind of run through it, and not fighting the enemy actually makes the fight easier. That's how it is in Dark Souls. So you don't risk anything. And if you need more souls, you know, just go fight something that has a lot of souls. You know, be very efficient about it. I gotta get rid of these guys up here. I've seen the guys speedrun this game. I don't know how they do it, man. I guess they memorize it all, but I've kind of got some of this memorized, and I think I'd just get bored trying to get a perfect run. I couldn't do that. I'd lose patience. So those speedrunners, they are very entertaining, though. I really like watching. The other day I was watching a speedrun of Terraria, of all games. I hadn't played Terraria in like 5 years, it feels like, and I kind of missed that game. Love the music. If you've watched my videos, you know I use the soundtrack every now and then. Go. So the Taurus Demon, if I remember, you just do drop attacks on him over and over again. Come on. And again, all this is going to lead up to the Drake Sword, so we're going to get that done. But you do have to kill the Taurus Demon first. Oh. Ooh, I hope I don't die. That's going to suck. I'd have to come back here. Come over here, Taurus Demon. And you don't want to try to do drop attacks on him over and over again, right in that area by the ladder. Oh my god. Ooh, I hope I have time for this. Okay, I'm taking a risk. Well, it looks like I made it. Yeah, you kind of want to lure him away from the ladder if you're being careful, because if you don't, he kind of attacks you while you're trying to go up that ladder, and that can be really dangerous. Alright, we just need to get him one more time. Come on. I love seeing this spider shield. Is fun because I played a lot of the Dark Souls 3, and of course that was in the game as well. Though you didn't really worry about it. You didn't use it. It was a meta weapon. I recognized the axe too. I never used this axe in Dark Souls 3. There he goes. Taurus Demon's down. That was easy. Victory achieved. Alright, we're almost there. So after the Taurus Demon, I'm trying to remember what you do. Oh, we're going to kick down... Right, there's a shortcut. We're going to open up a shortcut to the bonfire that we were just at earlier. Should be something right here. Alright, we're going to kick that ladder down so we can get the shortcut, and then we're going to have to find the merchant and buy a bow and arrows. Because you're going to need... So you're going to... Don't spend your souls. You're going to need a bow and arrow for... Sorry, I'm a little distracted. You're going to need a bow and arrow for getting this Drake Sword. There he goes there. There's the red dragon. He's the guy who's going to give us the sword. We're not actually going to be killing him. We're going to be cutting his tail off. and that's going to give us a sword, right? So here we are. Here's how you get a shortcut. You know, kick that ladder, and that ladder is going to allow you to return to the dragon, right? Do this real fast. Okay, now we need to go to the merchant. The merchant's going to sell us the bow and the arrows. He's over here. There's a fun little area. A lot of people like to PvP in this area. I have no clue how the PvP rules will work anymore. Like, you know, what kind of restrictions they'll have on who you can invade and who you can be invaded by. No idea how that works. I imagine some people are already trying to figure out so they can start twinking, right? Okay, nope, I don't want to buy a dagger. Oh, there it is. So you buy the short bow, and you're going to buy some... You can buy the more expensive arrows. You don't really need to. We're just going to buy some cheap arrows, and I don't want a million of them. You could get away with doing it on 50 arrows, but I would probably buy just 100 to be safe. If you've never done this before, buy about 100 wooden arrows. Do yourself a favor. Excuse me. Okay. So we are almost done. You'll notice I thought there was something in here. I can't remember. No. Wood shield. Never mind. That's not useful. Yeah, we are just about done getting that Drake sword. And so, yeah, this is why I really wanted to do it from the beginning all the way up to this point, because I know a lot of people... See, the Drake sword benefits players that aren't familiar with the opening of the game. Once you get this weapon, you're kind of ahead of the game for a while. And... No, give me a second. Okay, so I don't have enough dexterity to use this short bow. I didn't think about that. Let's level up. Oh, actually, you know what? I don't know what level I need to be at for my dexterity for this bow. Okay, 12. Okay, so you need 12 dexterity in order to use the short bow. Let's do that real fast. I'm going to spend... Luckily, I have enough souls for that. If you don't have enough souls, you can just kill some monsters nearby. Alright, so we got the bow. We're going to set the arrows as well, wooden arrows. And yeah, it's really simple. We're just going to be under the bridge, and we're going to shoot the tail off of the dragon. Or the wyvern, or wyvern, if you want me to pronounce it wyvern. I've always pronounced it wyvern, and I like it better that way. It just sounds better to me, wyvern. It sounds better than wyvern. People get really upset about that. Oh, I hate these shield guys. The specifically the shield and spear guys. You know, they're annoying in Dark Souls 3 as well, aren't they? Oh. That was me trying to do like a parry setup. That didn't work. You'll notice, if you're having trouble with these guys, you'll notice that they wait for you to attack and have your weapon deflected off their shield, and then they attack you. It's the same way it was in Dark Souls 3. So we should be able to see the dragon's tail from about here. There it is. Alright, so at this point, you're all set. You're ready to go. All you do at this point is you shoot the dragon's tail off. And if you brought about 100 wooden arrows, there's really no way to fail this other than walking off of the side of the bridge because you're not good at the controls. I don't know. There's no way to fail this. And what I'll do, I think, is I'm going to speed up this part of the video because it's literally just going to be me shooting the tail over and over again. And at some point, the tail breaks off and you get the sword. So let's go ahead and skip forward. Alright, and there we go. There's the Drake sword. You'll notice I was kind of shooting him twice. Once when he was away and then when he got close. One of the ways you can do this to make it easier on your eyes, don't focus on his tail. Well, you will, but you're going to memorize a location on your screen using the background as like a target. Memorize exactly where you should shoot by picking like a spot on your screen where his tail is going to be. It makes it easier. And there we go. Oh man, there's the rats again. I guess I'm bad at killing rats. I don't know. But yeah, there you go. You have a very powerful sword very early into the game. 15 minutes, well, it's about 16 minutes. 16 minutes into the game, you've got a very powerful weapon, and you are ready to go. You're ready to kill a lot of stuff at this point. You can go back, you can trace your steps back, and you know, there's like a black knight to kill and a blue tearstone ring to gather, basically. There's a lot of little things you can do back in the burg, and yeah, I mean, you're set to go. This sword will stay pretty strong for a while, so I guess I'm going to go ahead and get back to the game myself. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Really? Oh my gosh, you guys! I just want to thank y'all so much!